Welcome to Testimony, a musician's story featuring Gemstones and narrated by myself, BrownTheory, the music lover constantly seeking positive music. Let's get started.
Murder scene every time I perform. It's a state of emergency, been a bit of disturbance. Artists showing no courtesy, rappers out of his form. Should be locked up for perjury, lying about what you're doing. Selling your soul for currency, anything that you're on. Hell is for an eternity, hope you know where you're going. An industry full of wannabes, never what I can form.
June 20th, 1981, a Gemini was born and named DeMarco Castle, aka Gemini, and most recently known as Gemstones. DeMarco Castle spent his weekdays as a kid in the southeast side of Chicago, the Bush, what he called the ghetto. And he spent his weekends at his grandmother's, who lived in a middle-class neighborhood. Even though the neighborhoods were drastically different, at the time, he didn't know one lifestyle was better than the other.
But we had a dope life growing up. But it's kind of funny, though, to not know that you're poor when you grew up. But I'm glad I grew up the way I did because it helped me appreciate a lot.
He was the eldest of 4 boys and 2 girls. And although his biological father lived in the same middle-class neighborhood as his grandmother, he barely saw him.
He would promise me he was coming to get me on the weekends. Friday would come, I would run home from school, change out of my school clothes, and sit on the porch and wait on him. And he'd never show up. My mother loved us so much, she hid stuff from us. She didn't let me hear her going in on him. But I'm a child. I'm like, no, Ma. She's like, he coming out. I'm like, no, he said he coming. And I'm watching all the cars drive up the street.
DeMarco grew up in a household with his mom, his siblings, and his alcoholic stepfather. His stepfather was abusive towards his mother, and he felt he played favoritism towards his biological kids. So, needless to say, they didn't get along well.
But now, it's like I got the best relationship with him now. Now that we're not under the same roof no more. And then, I made songs, and I explained my situation, what I was going through with him back then. And now that he's sobered up and he's not the same person he was before, he listens, he can hear my songs, and I guess he feels convicted or something, and making me like, wow, I didn't know you felt like that. But he respects me to the T now.
He started rapping in 3rd grade, but didn't discover his singing voice until high school, where he was recruited to be a part of Bowen High School's Visual and Performing Arts program, headed by Mrs. Gill, the one teacher who told him he was going to go far, but passed away before she could see him on the cover of the Source magazine, Double XL magazine, and on MTV. So how did young DeMarco go from a high schooler with a dream to Gemini on MTV?
One of my friends called my phone and was like, yo, Will Smith and them in Chicago. They out here shooting a movie called Ali. And I was like, I'm on my way. And then I'm like, yo, I got to meet Will Smith. It's my opportunity. I saw some people walking, on the set of the movie, a lot of executives and important people, and I jumped in the line with them. As I saw them walking, I jumped behind them and act like I was part of the crew walking too. So as they were walking, going to the back towards the trailers, I was the last one, and this guy stopped me. He put his hand on my chest like, whoa, stop. Where do you think you're going? And I'm like, I'm going back there with them. Who are you? I said, I'm part of the crew. What do you mean? I'm like, who are you? And he's like, come on, shorty. Beat it, man. Come on. Good one, but beat it. I'm like, all right, man. Come on, man. I'm trying to get on, man. What's good? I'm trying to meet Will Smith, man. I just need to slide in my demo tape. I need to sing for him. I need to rap. He's like, shorty, beat it. I ain't got time for this. Ooh. And I'm like, damn, that's how you gonna do me? And whatever. And he's like, all right, so let me hear something. I was like, well, can you slide in my tape? He's like, no, I can't do that. He said, I can't help you. All I know, I end up singing for him. And once I got done singing, he was like, who wrote that? I was like, I wrote that. He's like, do it, let me hear something else. And I sung something else I wrote. He was blown away. And he's like, rap something. Then I started rapping. He heard it. He was blown away. He's like, rap something else. I rapped again. He was like, oh, my God. He was like, he shook my hands like, my name is Charlie Mack. I'm Will Smith's best friend / assistant. Come on, follow me. I'm like, yes, jackpot. We walked straight to the back. Will Smith was in the trailer changing.
He hung out with Will Smith the remainder of the Chicago shoot and was introduced to the producer of Will's Big Willie style, Omar. Omar called all the shots for overbooked entertainment and told Gemini he didn't have what it took to be a star. This crushed Gemini. But he kept it moving and later ran into a young, starving artist like himself, just trying to get on, who was now known as Lupe Fiasco.
And before I knew it, we was doing a second album called The Cool, and shooting videos and hanging with Jay-Z and Kanye, and we shot a video for my album called We On. That was going to be the first thing. It was the first thing go off my album that never came out. We did the MTV. We did My Block, Chicago. I was the poster boy for it. They released like an album. I had like 5 songs on the album. It was in stores and all of that.
Gemini changed his stage name to Gemstones for legal reasons. His old name died and his style of rapping went right along with it. He stopped rapping about death and other grim things and made lighter music. He revealed that he lied in his past lyrics, cut his hair, and started shedding his 330 pounds of weight.
First off, I'd like to take a moment before I get in your head and apologize to every fan I've ever misled. There's a lot of things I rapped about you shouldn't have been fed. I've led people to destruction from the things that I've said. I've glorified busting women down, selling drugs, licking rounds, anything negative you could think of to keep us down. Cause when it's positive, people don't want to hear it. Wanted to speak the truth, but I was afraid that you wouldn't feel it.
And then when I got saved, I actually started slipping back off into the world. I started back, hanging out again and, started going back to my old ways. And it was like God said, nope, I ain't gonna let that happen. And after that happened, it's like my friend died. And then I got right back in line.
His best friend died in a motorcycle accident.
I never really had a close relationship with God, but I knew who he was. And he would always talk to me. And I always felt him pulling on me and yanking on me, Jesus singing, come on, DeMarco. Come over here with me. Come on. Live this life over here. Let that go. You're doing bogus. That's wrong. You're not supposed to do that. I always heard that. And then I always figured, when I get grown and become an old man, then I'll give my life to God, just before I die or something. And then till one day, my very, 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 very close friend passed away. He was the person I went to. He was my go-to guy. He was like my big brother. Once he passed away, I really had nobody to lean on. And I couldn't go to nobody but God, And I heard God tell me, like, man, he's like, it would have been for you, but you wasn't prepared to go where you was headed. He was prepared to go. Had I took you, you didn't want to go where you was about to do. So once I heard that, it straightened me up. I was like, I got to get in church. It's over. I'm done. I threw the towel in, truth, white flag, whatever you want to call it. And I just let go of everything that was hindering me in life, and I walked away from it. 1st and 15th was one of the things I walked away from. I called them up and let them know I couldn't do it no more. I can't rap this type of rap no more. I can't be a part of this. I was really lost in the inside. I was hollow, but I was searching for something, and I wasn't filled up. But I didn't know it was God that I really needed, you know what I'm saying? But at the time, I was young. I didn't know. But it took for my friend to die for me to really live.
If I'm